Welcome back to Njeri Speaks. Thank you so much for tuning in and hearing this week's chat over money, goals, and how to get your life moving forward in a forward trajectory, because that's the goal, right? We can be where we are right now, but as long as we're heading forward, making movement toward a better tomorrow, then we're winning in this game called life. So it feels like I haven't seen you guys in ages because I was moving last week. So to be honest with you, you didn't want to see my face because I was exhausted and trying to coordinate everything. As I said, if you can imagine, I am it's just me to get everything squared away, and of course my daughter was instrumental, and even the little guy of the house was helping pull the wagon. So it's been really wonderful being able to just get settled in and have a fresh start. And so that brings me to the topic for this week, which is it's June 10th day of June. And so where are you? What are you thinking? What are you dealing with? One of the things that I actually wanted to touch on that came up while I was away was I had an opportunity to make some decisions on some stock options. And what I realized when I was looking through the paperwork and having just dialogues with a couple of friends who were in a similar situation to make those decisions, I realized that a lot of people get advice from people who are not in the same predicament as them. What do I mean by that? So for example, I sit there and I tell you, I'm thinking about selling my stocks. I think it's a good time, good deal. Might as well go ahead and do it. And you, based on my comment or statement, would then be like, well, obviously you'd be like, well, if she's selling, then I should be selling. And when I heard some of the back and forth that was going on amongst our group of friends, I said, wait a minute, but I don't think we're all in the same place. Because for me, I don't do single stocks. So selling my single stock is not a risk, if you will. To me, my single stock is kind of a play money situation. And so the majority of my money is tied into mutual funds and those type of products, just because, again, based on history, they have the best opportunity for a good return, long-term, future state. And so we were having this discussion, and I said, I wonder how many people go to their cousin, their uncle, their dads, their moms, their friends, and say, hey, this opportunity came up. What do you think? What should I do? And they give their response to you based on their circumstance. And so today I wanted to really challenge you that whenever you're looking at documents, any decisions that you're needing to make, number one, it would be highly advisable that if you have an advisor, that you connect with them. That's the first thing. So if you have a finance guy, or in my case, finance girl, then you need to reach out to them and say, hey, this is what I'm considering. And again, that's just feedback. It still shouldn't be, your decision should be what your gut tells you. So if your gut is like, I need a little bit more time on that, or that was good advice, but I don't know, is that really applicable to me? I don't know. So get the feedback, collect your feedback from your trusted advisors, from, wise counsel, right? And then once you have everything together, I pray over the decision, and just ask God to guide me. I don't know what you believe, but if you do believe in God, I would suggest, getting all the information and then just praying over it. And you will have a peace about it. I believe that firmly. So all that to say is that after that discussion and really having the whole point about we're all talking about the same thing, but we're not all in the same place about this thing, right? So in the end, I guess where I'm going with that is we didn't all sell because it wasn't in our best interest to all sell. So some of us sold, some of us didn't, and those type of things. So I wanted to really touch on that because a lot of the times we make decisions off of opinions, recommendations, suggestions. And my question today to you is, how are you vetting your advice that you get surrounding money? For example, you might be like, well, so then how do I know that, let's say, the Financial Peace University will work for me? Or how do I know then that this program like YNAB will work for me? Well, it goes back to there are certain principles that you have to do to win, period. You have to not be in debt, period. That's the starting point of wealth building. And you can interview millionaires and they will all tell you they did not make their millions with debt. You will hear that some will say, well, I took a loan to invest in X, Y, and Z, but the revenue that they're enjoying right now was not all because they went in deep debt and succeeded that way. Okay, so going back to point number 2, who are your advisors? For me, I have a very, very small circle of who I ask regarding decisions surrounding money. Very small circle, as in not even more than 5 people. And the way I went about choosing those 5, number 1 was I really prayed about it because not everybody, God love them, not everybody should be speaking into your money. And so you have to be in the right framework, like heading in the same direction. So for example, I wouldn't ask my friend who believes debt is all right, no big deal, whatever. I want to do this. I'm going to go get a loan and do it. I wouldn't go to that friend for financial advice because we're not in the same bucket, if you will. We don't believe in the same thing. Obviously, love her, love him, but not my advisor. Okay? And then the second thing that I look for is their spirituality. Again, for me, Christianity is the umbrella that I fall under, and it's because of my faith in Jesus Christ. And with that, I really strongly believe that I want somebody who has the same foundation as me giving me feedback. Now, in the marketplace, it's not always the case, right? Because my fund managers might or might not be Christians, but they're the best at what they do from a financial standpoint. So I have to trust their expertise in that, right? But the choices, this is surrounding choices that I make surrounding money, any decisions, like if there's a big purchase that comes up, I never make a big purchase without double checking at least 2 of the 5 trusted advisors that I have, because I might be able to sell one on it. I might, by the time I get to the second one, if there's anything wrong, it will come up and I would have to look a little bit further. So, all that to say, your advice, the advice that you get, the recommendations that you get for your money must be highly vetted because your future depends on it. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. I know short, sweet, and simple, but sometimes there's some topics that we could go on and 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 on, and it won't really change the fact that you need to be wise about who you get money advice from. And, as far as what I was mentioning earlier, as far as what program do I go with? What program do I go with? Well, at the end of the day, you have to have those foundational beliefs. So I believe that life without debt is the way to go. So whatever program I pick, again, there's so many, just because I specifically prefer financial peace. What is going on with this hair? Look at that. All right. I have a loose strand released. All right. So with financial peace, for example, I know that the end result is you are debt free and building wealth and giving generously. With YNAB, you need a budget is that's the acronym for you need a budget, founded by Jesse Meekum. It is more about how far in advance can you be living, meaning I get paid today and I don't have to spend the money for a month. How cool would that be? I know. So I've kind of custom made my little goals surrounding some of that motivating information, and so little things like that. Like they both financial peace and YNAB have apps for your budgeting, because at the end of the day, if you're not budgeting, why are we even talking? Budgeting is the way to go. And you can call it whatever you need to call it to make it okay in your mind to be able to do it. So you could call it financial planning for the month. You could call it goal setting with my finance. I don't care what you call it, but you need to have your money written down on purpose with a plan, every dollar having a name, heading towards something specific, bills or otherwise. So that is it for me, or rather that is it from me this week. And I'm just excited to be back up and running, and please do comment. I really appreciate when you give me your feedback. Let me know that I'm not the only one on this island thinking some of these things. So join in on the party. Your comments really do matter. And love you. Take care and have a great week. Great week. It's June, y'all. Woo! All right. Talk to you later.